Scientists, let's talk about how to write a CER using Bill Nye. Okay, we are going to prove that Bill Nye is a real scientist, and that's going to be kind of our prompt for today. Now, I want you to remember that a CER stands for claim, evidence, and reasoning. It's got 3 little pieces for it, and we're going to break down each piece for you. Also, I want you to remember this. A CER is one way to write in science, but it is not the only way, right? So when we talk about scientific writing, a CER is just a piece. It's like saying I'm writing a paragraph, or I'm writing an essay, or I'm writing a sentence. It's a specific way of doing it, but it's not the only way to write in science. All right, let's start with a claim. Claims are really, really easy to write in science because we're just trying to figure out what we are trying to prove. So for this one, we're trying to prove that Bill Nye is a real scientist. So I just take that and make it a sentence. Bill Nye is a real scientist. I am claiming that Bill Nye is a real scientist. Now I got to prove it to you. It's a real easy way to do it this way. You just kind of chop off words from the prompt and you make it into a claim. If it was a question, you might have to rearrange it a little bit, but normally when you have a writing prompt, it's pretty easy to turn the writing prompt into a claim. Okay, good. We got the claim down. Now we need to move on to evidence. Okay, so evidence is proof. That's the actual proof, how you're going to prove it. And that comes from an article, a video, a slideshow, anything that's reliable, or it also could come from your own data. For this case, because it's a research project, we are going to pull from text, which means it comes from a video, article, website, something like that. Okay. Teachers use a lot of different terms for text evidence. So evidence, text evidence, quote from the text, evidence from a source. One thing about the quote from the text I want you guys to know, you're not looking for a quote Bill Nye said. You're looking for information written down about him. You are going to put it in quotation marks and quote somebody else's writing, right? It doesn't have to be a quote Bill Nye said. Okay, so let's look at what that looks like. For your scientist study, right, we look at Dr. David Kelly. This would be a really good example of pulling information from the text. This is a great quote to use, okay? But we didn't have a slides on Bill Nye, should we? So I went to an article published on this website called Science Friday, which I know to be a reliable source, and I found this quote. So I highlighted it, I copied and pasted it, and I put it in as my evidence. Exact same quote. Now, I'm not done yet because it's not my words, it's somebody else's words. So I have to put it in quotation marks because it is a quote, right? Now, I'm still not done yet because I have to give credit to the original source I got it from. So I added according to Science Friday, and then I have my text evidence. That's it. Evidence is just information that backs up your claim. Okay, we got the claim, we got the evidence. Let's do the reasoning. Oh, by the way, that's the other thing about where you can find evidence for your project, for the scientist study. All right, let's do reasoning now. Now let's do reasoning. Okay, so reasoning explains why the evidence backs up the claim. And I kid you not, you guys, reasoning is always my favorite part because you explain it. It's your words and what you think. You get to tell me things, and that's the part I love the best. So for reasoning, we're looking to explain something. So it's really handy to use these words, the who, what, where, when, why, how words. So why does this work? What is it explaining? What's it really saying? Who is it talking about? Any combination. You probably cannot use all 6 at the same time, but think about those words when you're trying to explain something. Now, I started writing mine, and I'm writing in adult words, right? I am writing in my words, not kid words. So I don't expect yours to look the same as mine, but I started with the myth. A lot of people think Bill Nye isn't a real scientist. However, he has a degree in mechanical engineering and designed airplane parts. That part I'm kind of repeating what's in the quote, but in a little bit of a different way. And then I'm going to keep going. He tested his designs and collected data. Those are things I know he did because those were in my notes about him. And then I'm going to kind of wrap it all up with a concluding sentence and use a transition and say, In fact, Bill Nye is a real scientist. And there we have reasoning. It's my own words. It's what I think. It's why I picked that evidence to support that claim. And it's more than one sentence. Okay? All right. Just remember, CER is claim evidence reasoning. And let's go over it one more time what we got. Bill Nye is a real scientist. According to Science Friday, he has a BS in mechanical engineering from Cornell University, where he studied under Carl Sagan. He worked on the 747 as an engineer at Boeing before creating and hosting his much-loved Emmy Award-winning PBS show, Bill Nye the Science Guy. Are you all singing it now? Please tell me you're all singing it now. A lot of people think Bill Nye isn't a real scientist. However, he has a degree in mechanical engineering and designed airplane parts. He tested his designs and collected data. In fact, Bill Nye is a real scientist. Okay, now I have those 3 separate parts, but I'm still not quite done yet. Let's copy and paste those 3 pieces from kind of our graphic organizer where they're in 3 parts and put them together into one paragraph. There you go. That's what it looks like. Now I have one final tip for you to make you look super smart. Delete the part that says CER. It'd be like writing a paragraph and writing paragraph at the top of it. I mean, it is a paragraph, but you get the idea. Call it something else. Call it proof. Call it scientist Bill Nye, right? Call it something that has to do with the topic. Don't call it a CER. I'm going to know it's a CER because I'm going to be able to see your claim, see your evidence, and see your reasoning. Hope this helps. Good luck, scientists.